Hello, welcome to the video on how to change the batteries in your cobot. So there are two battery packs, lithium battery packs that are 6 volt that are located under this cap on J2. One of these battery packs retains the memory location for joints 1, 2, and 3, and the other one is for 4, 5, and 6. If the battery packs become depleted, you will actually lose the location on your joints on your robot, and then you'll have to actually remaster the robot. If that for some reason happens to you, please call our service department and they'll walk you through getting it remastered. The way to avoid that is to apply power to the robot, not just plugging it into the wall. It actually has to have power flowing through the controls. You have to have the control turned on. When the control is on, it's not using battery power. If for some reason you're going to just store your cobot in the corner somewhere and not use it for a while, I would recommend turning it on maybe once a week just to see that there's no battery alarms. Where you'll see the battery alarms will be at the top of the pendant. On your alarm bar there, you're going to see something like a BLAL or a BZAL. A BLAL is a battery low alarm. When you see that alarm, I recommend getting some battery packs on order from us as soon as possible so you can replace them. If you see a BZAL alarm, I would recommend leaving the cobot turned on until you can get some new battery packs, otherwise it will lose its location. Now, if you just turn the cobot on after some time in storage and it says BZAL, it's most likely already too late and you're going to have to remaster. But if you happen to be using it and you had a BLAL alarm and it became a BZAL, leave the power on so that way you can still retain the memory until you get your battery packs installed. So, I'm going to walk you through how to change these battery packs. We're going to do this with the power on. And you should have a sticker right above the cap that talks about leaving the power on as you change the batteries. This ensures that when we disconnect the batteries, we're not going to lose position. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually turn this robot so that J2 is somewhere over here off the table, so that when I'm using my T-handle to get the screws out, I'm not running into the table. So a few of the tools you're going to need to do this job. You're going to need a 2.5 millimeter T-handle and a 3 millimeter T-handle. Of course, you can also use regular Allen keys. If you have a set of those will work as well. The T-handles make it a little bit easier. Also, you're going to need either a mallet, or in this case, I have a small punch with a ball-peen hammer. I'm going to just cap the cover. There is a gasket on there that is reusable, but that gasket tends to stick pretty tight, so we'll probably need that to get that loose. So next, I'm going to take the cover off. Underneath there's a cage that holds the 2 batteries in place, and then there's just 2 plugs. So we'll walk through that next. Okay, so first I'm going to take my 3 millimeter T-handle. I'm going to remove the 6 screws that are holding this cover on. Okay, there is number 6. Now I recently just had this cover off, so it came off loose. If for some reason yours is too tight on there and you can't get it to budge off even by just tapping it with a mallet lightly, there is a kind of a flat area up here. I'd recommend taking the punch, just putting it on, catching the edge of that, and just tapping it, and it should pop loose. It might be a good idea to have a second person so you have another pair of hands to hold it when you tap it, that it doesn't drop and fall off of it. So now I'm going to take that cover off, and I recommend setting this down so that we don't get any dirt on the gasket there. We want to keep that nice and clean, and it is a reusable gasket. Next, I'm going to take my 2.5 millimeter T-handle. Again, I'm doing all this with the power on. There are 4 small screws that hold this cage on. I recommend being really careful when you take these out, because if you don't and you drop that screw down inside the arm, it might be a little difficult to try and retrieve that. 2. And 4. And I did drop that. Okay, so now I can remove this cage. I'm going to pull on that gently, and it will catch on those wires if you're not careful. These 2 little tabs can catch on that, so you want to make sure when you take that off, you're being really careful. Then there's a little plug right here. I'm just going to push in on the tab, and I'm going to pull that plug right out of the plug that it's plugged into. And there are little plastic C-clips that are holding these battery packs in place. You just pull it straight out, put the other ones in, and then just reverse the order. So I'm gonna plug that back into there. I'll plug this back into there, making sure I hear a click so I know it's positively connected. Give the plastic plug a little tug, don't pull in the wires. Now I'm ready to put the cage back on and just reverse the order. So those tabs go down around the wires and they go underneath the battery packs, and this tab goes over the battery packs. Now I can simply put in my 4 socket head cap screws that hold that in. I can put the cover back on and put in the other 6 socket head cap screws that hold that on, and you're all set to go. Again, making sure you do this with the power on. If you have any other questions, please feel free to give us a call and watch our other videos. Thank you.